Hello, everybody. Good morning. Sorry about earlier. We had to reconnect the Facebook live session, but we are live right now. I think we're live right now. We currently have 0 viewers, so if you could uh, log on and let me know, just type in "good morning" and tell me where you're tuning in from. I'd really appreciate that. Today, we're going to focus more on a Q&A session. This is more of a question and answer session wherein we'll be answering this specific question: what freelancing field should I pursue? And just making sure, can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me or not. I want to make sure that we are able to broadcast properly. And if there are any problems, good morning, April from Makati. So I guess you could hear me, April. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. And let's see, who else have we got here? So yeah, just say hi, guys. If you can hear me, there we go. Yes, okay, we are all good with the audio. We have 12 listeners with us right now, and we should have the link shared in the Work at Home Pinoy's Facebook group. But today, yeah, I'm setting aside this time just to answer this question. Good morning, Andrea. Thank you for joining us. I'm setting aside this time just to answer this question: what freelancing field should I pursue? For those of you that are replying in the Facebook group, please make sure to comment on the Facebook page, not in the group. When you comment on the page, I'll be able to see it. In the group, I won't see it. Okay, so today we're gonna this question: what freelancing field should you pursue, or what area should you specialize in? As we all know, there are so many different freelancing fields, or so many freelancing areas. There's search engine optimization, there's virtual assistants, there is bookkeeping, there is websites, there's social media, Facebook ads, e-commerce, and all that. So we get this question a lot. What should I pursue? Because it becomes confusing for people as to what they should focus on, because there are just too many choices and it becomes overwhelming for a lot of people. Can you guys just share with me, let me know, what areas are you currently focusing on as a freelancer? Just comment on the broadcast. I should be able to see it. Like, are you a virtual assistant? Are you doing bookkeeping? Are you doing writing? Are you doing SEO? Are you doing web development? Are you doing programming? What currently is your specialization? I'd love to hear from you. Let's see if we have some responses here. What is your, like, my specialization is more on online marketing and in Facebook ads. And it's important to know what your own specialization is. What area are you focusing on when it comes to freelancing? Is it admin, writing, or so on? And also, one question that you should be asking, and one question I want to ask you in answering what freelancing field should you pursue is, are you a beginner or are you more experienced? Hi, Nico. Thank you for joining us from San Pablo. So whether you're a beginner or experienced, it does matter as well, because if you are a beginner, there are certain fields that might be a bit technical for you, like the search engine optimization, or the more technical fields. You may need to study those areas before you actually pursue them. So when you're thinking about what area to pursue, that's a very common first question to ask. Hey, Joe. Hey, Anna. Thank you for joining us. Very common question to ask: are you a beginner or are you someone experienced? For most people that are starting out in freelancing, I suggest you start off with something easy. The reason for this is because if you are used to working, let's say, in a corporate environment, if you're used to working in a corporate environment and then you just start freelancing, you're a new freelancer, um, then it's a big transition to make. Moving is a big transition. It's a difficult transition to make. So I suggest you start with something easy. And what do I mean by something easy? Easy fields are the fields like customer service fields, virtual assistant, and writing if you know how to write. Doing things like data transcription, doing things like data entry. Those are the easier fields that I suggest that freelancers start with when it's your first time freelancing, if you don't have any experience yet. But when you do have experience, that's when you can venture into the other areas. Hey, Vanji from Davao City, glad that you're joining us. And Joe from Manila, also glad that you're joining us here. So starter, whether you're a beginner or whether you're experienced, it's a different, I'd give you a different answer depending on whether you have more experience or not. Because once you have more experience, you know how freelancing works. You have the confidence to be able to apply for, I'd say, more complicated jobs, and you know how it is to learn. You know how different it is working in an office versus working freelancing. And April, thank you for responding. I'd like to go into the VA field. I'm very green when it comes to working from home. So you're still very fresh. So good to hear that you're joining us. You're more of a beginner. And yes, virtual assistant is a very good place to start if you're a beginner. Some beginners ask me, should I pursue search engine optimization? Because you can make a lot of money with search engine optimization. It's how I was able to break over 100,000 pesos a month initially, was with search engine optimization. If you heard my interview with Jason Dumana, he can make something like 200,000 pesos a month with search engine optimization. So a lot of newbies ask me that question, should I study this? But I tell them all the time, this is very technical. I suggest you start with something easy first. Just relax and slowly you can increase your income to get to 100,000, 200,000, whatever. But you have to get started first with something that's a lot easier. Rizzy, hello as well. Thank you for greeting. And when it comes to fields, a lot of people are just happy working in virtual assistant fields or in writing, and they're happy earning, let's say, 30,000 to 50,000 pesos a month. Okay, and you can do that even if you're a virtual assistant. It's very possible. And if that's your goal, if your goal is just to reach around 30 to 50,000 pesos a month, I suggest, okay, you can learn virtual assistant, or even if you're okay, let's say with 20,000 pesos a month, you can stick with becoming a virtual assistant, and you don't need to learn anything else. Just become a very good virtual assistant, and that's it. So you don't need to study all these different technical and difficult fields. Hey, May Love, thank you for joining us from Agusan del Sur. And yes, Rizzy, used to work in a BPO. I also used to work in a BPO, so I know how difficult it is. Cherry, hello as well. Thank you. So depending on how much you want to earn, that will also determine whether you should pursue these other fields. Because if you're okay earning 20, 25,000, 30 pesos a month, you can just become a virtual assistant, stay with that. You don't need to stress yourself out. You don't need to learn new things, and you can just be happy if that's what will make you happy. But if you do want to earn more, if you do want to reach the 100,000 peso level, then maybe you do need to focus on some other skills, learn some other areas, and that's what this session is focusing about. Azil Somar, you're currently working as an online teacher. And well, Azil, what I suggest you do is you sign up for our free VA course, because that will help you out more. A virtual assistant does a lot of admin work. It's like a secretary for online work for online businesses. So if you go to freevacourse.com, that's freevacourse.com, then you'll be able to get the free course when it comes to that. I'm just answering questions here. Cherry, Upward account has been suspended. Sorry to hear about that. Been working as a VA, but not lucky enough to find work from home. Well, Cherry, I think you can take our free course, and our paid course really helps out people in your situation. We have a lot of newbies asking questions here. Teresa, no experience yet, currently working as a customer consultant. Same thing as I said to Azil, you can start off with the free course as a very good starting point. Magdalene, I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I'm saying your name correctly. Being a virtual assistant is the best thing that ever happened to me and my family. So that's great to hear. I'm glad you're sharing that with us. And as I was saying earlier, when it comes to, if you're trying to learn search engine optimization, websites, social media marketing, and so on. So if you have those questions related to that, related to learning other fields, I'd love to hear them. Please post them in the comments so I can answer them directly. But if you're still confused about what field you should pursue, I then ask you, what do you want to do? What are you comfortable doing? Are you okay doing marketing? Are you more technically inclined? Are you more focused on designing? Or do you have design inclinations? Are you good with numbers? Are you good with accounting? Because when you're focusing on a field, when you're trying to choose what specific specialty or your field that you're going to pursue, it should be something that you love doing, that you enjoy doing. Because if you don't enjoy doing it, you can't do a good job. You won't be able to make a lot of money and charge higher rates. Because if you don't do a good job, if you don't love what you're doing, you won't do a good job, and clients will be able to see that, and you'll be stuck earning, let's say, $5 an hour, or even like $3 an hour. You won't be able to charge $10 an hour, and so on, like you want to. So find something that you like doing. What is it that you enjoy? Do you enjoy numbers? Do you enjoy design? Do you enjoy marketing? And that will help you identify what specific field that you should pursue when it comes to freelancing. And my advice is to choose a specific category. Choose a specific category of learning. So we know about search engine optimization, Facebook ads, and so on. We know about data transcription, about Google Docs, about Microsoft Office, and so on. But what I want you to do is not focus on those specific fields, but choose a field. Sorry, not focus on those specific skills, but choose a category. Choose a category of skills. For example, in online marketing, I started off with websites and SEO. That was what I started learning. And eventually, I was able to move into Google AdWords and Facebook ads because I understood the entire online marketing category. So when you're choosing a field, choose a category, not just one specific skill, because today Facebook ads is very popular. Tomorrow, maybe Facebook is going to change their policies, and then it's going to become, the focus is going to be on Twitter or going to be on Instagram. So if you just focused on Facebook ads, if that's what you invested in and nothing else, then you're going to have to start all the way from the beginning. But if you invested in learning about how online marketing works, then you can apply that knowledge in SEO. You can apply that knowledge in Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and so on. Same with writing. When you learn how writing works, right now, sales copywriting is very popular. If you learn how writing works, and not just specifically, let's say, email writing, if you only focus on email writing by itself, and then the trend changes, and then email becomes obsolete all of a sudden, then you're going to have to start from the beginning. But if you focus on writing or copywriting in general, then you can write for websites, you can write for emails, and you can write for social. So be able to be flexible. You can focus on a specific skill area, but you should be able to be flexible and change and apply what you learn in other fields without starting from the beginning. Joe Asinashon, it doesn't affect her. I'm not very good in speaking English. Well, you can communicate in English, right? I can understand what you're saying right now, even though you're saying it in English. So what's important with clients is that they can understand, you can understand one another. They can understand what you're saying, and you can understand what they're saying. You don't need to be fluent. You don't need to be an expert in English. But what's important is that you can understand one another. Mary Lynn, I was wondering if you're considering like your students doing an OJT task, like we're building up our profile. So, and I'm not sure if you're talking about the paid students in the VA bootcamp, but in our virtual assistant bootcamp, which is our paid program, we do have the students do assignments, which is kind of like OJT. We give them specific scenarios and assignments for them to do so that they get that hands-on experience. Even though they're not working with a client, they can get that hands-on experience, know how it is to work as a virtual assistant. They get the same feel. And yeah, they're able to build up their profile with our assignments and activities that we give them, which are somewhat like OJT, somewhat like OJT experience. Okay, please continue to ask questions. So we're talking about what freelancing field should you pursue? What freelancing field should you pursue? Okay, so like I was saying earlier, choose a category, not a specific field. Whether it's online marketing, whether it's admin, whether it's design, whether it's programming, whether it's writing. Choose a specific field and then make sure it's something that you're going to have fun in. Make sure that you enjoy doing that work. And if it's something that if you're not sure what you're going to have fun in, if you're not sure, okay, I want to work online. You know, I'm already a virtual assistant. I want to specialize. I want to focus on a specific area, but I'm not sure what field to focus on. I'm not sure what I'm going to have fun in. I'm not sure what I'm good at. Then what you can do is you can just try out these different tasks. You can try out these different skills, whether you want to enroll in different trainings, whether you want to apply for different small projects that let you practice these different skills. That's up to you. And then once you test out these different things, then you can find out what you enjoy, what you like. Just like when you're testing food, right? When you're taste testing food, you're not sure what flavor of ice cream you want to eat. What you won't know what your favorite ice cream flavor is until you try, let's say, 5 or 10 different flavors. So that's another option for you. If you're not sure yet, if you're not sure what you're good at and what you're going to enjoy doing, then you can try out these different flavors, try out these different fields, try out these different skill areas. But if you already know what you'll have fun in, if you already know what you're good at, then I suggest focusing on that, because that's going to make, that's really what's going to propel your freelancing career forward. Don't focus on where the money is. That's what I'm going to tell you. Don't focus on, okay, I know there's so much money in SEO, but let's say you're not good with computers. You don't have any technical skills, or you don't know, you can't do programming, you don't understand how websites work. Then you're going to do a bad job at SEO because you don't understand. It's not your skill area. If you're not technically inclined, you can't really focus on SEO. Same thing for writing. A lot of people say, I know a lot of people are making money with writing, but I can't write. My grammar is bad, my English is bad. Then study English. If you really want to do it, study English first. Okay, you can't. If you're not good in a certain area, don't focus on that. I'm just going to go ahead and answer these questions here. Ivy Lynn's asking, hi sir, I'd like to avail of the Homebound Club. What premium courses are included? Not really related to the topic, but if you avail of our Homebound Club, you get access to all our courses. If you sign up for 1 year, you get all our courses for the year, even the courses that aren't out yet. So we're releasing courses in February and March, you're going to get access to those courses as well. Marv De Leon, thank you for joining us. Be Live, yes, we are using Be Live. Marv's the guy who introduced me to Be Live, so thank you for that. It's a very convenient way of doing Facebook Live sessions. Renzo, a shout out po. Okay, there you go. Shout out to Renzo. Do you want to say hi to your mom? That's fine. Frenny, I am adept in telesales and customer service. Lately, I want to veer away from voice projects. I want to try SEO, social media management, or article writing. Where should I start? Okay, so this is a very good question that we have from Frenny. And maybe you won't be able to answer this right away, but are you doing telesales and customer service as a freelancer, or are you working in a BPO? Because if you're still working in a BPO, if you're still working in a call center, my first advice for you would be to start freelancing maybe as telesales, customer service, or admin at home first. Okay, that's the first thing you should do. Don't jump into SEO freelancing right away, because while you're learning about how freelancing works, when you start freelancing as a telesales, customer service, or admin person, you can start learning how freelancing works. Whereas if you jump from BPO into SEO freelancing right away, you're not only learning SEO, you're also learning how freelancing works, how the different freelance platform works, how dealing with clients works. So it's a lot to take in. Start freelancing first with an area you're comfortable with, and it seems like customer service and telesales are areas that you're comfortable with. Okay, so that's step one for you. Step two is I do want to ask you, why are you choosing these fields? Why are you focusing on SEO, social media management, or article writing? It's a very important question for you to understand. If you're just after the money, then don't focus on those areas. Focus on what is more, what seems like more fun to you. If you are technically inclined, then you can get into SEO, social media management, article writing. Now, from these three fields, these are three different fields. Social media, the easiest here, I'd say, would be social media or article writing. Those are the easiest. But if social media management and article writing, but if we deal with social media marketing is a different field, because then you're dealing with Facebook ads. You're creating campaigns in order to bring in more customers. And that's very related to online marketing, which is connected with SEO. So if you really want to get into online marketing, I'm not saying SEO or social media. If you really want to get into these, then study online marketing first. Study how all these different fields connect, how SEO works, how pay-per-click works, how social media works, and so on. Article writing is a totally different field, though. So choose one. What are you going to focus on? Are you going to focus on online marketing, or are you going to focus on writing? You can be successful in both areas. What's important is something that you're good at. Choosing something you're good at and choosing something that you're going to have fun in. Okay, let's move to Azil's question. I tried applying for VA before, however, they need experienced people. So we really won't know what the skills are. Any recommendations where we can apply first for beginners? Okay, so to answer Azil's question, well, if you're and I'm understand that you're still a newbie freelancer. You're still a newbie virtual assistant. As a newbie, I wouldn't really highly suggest that you study SEO or these other areas first. Get some experience first. Get some jobs first before you focus on these areas. You can focus on the VA related things, like I'd say Microsoft Excel or data transcription or customer service. You can focus on these areas, and just find something that you know how to do and that I'd say you're good at. You don't need to be an expert in these areas. If you're good at Excel, you can create charts. You know how to manipulate the data in charts. You know how to filter. You know how to sort, and those kind of things. And you can be a virtual assistant who has Microsoft Excel expertise. Or if you learn WordPress, you learn WordPress development. Sorry, not WordPress development, WordPress management. Then you can be a VA who focuses on WordPress management. Okay, so since you're still new, focus more on VA with some skills. Don't try to jump into SEO or Facebook ads or things like that yet, or programming, because those are a bit more technical, and those are a bit more complicated. So find out what your strengths are. And one thing I wanna iterate here is, I'm trying to type, that's why I'm stuttering. Focus on your strengths. Focus on your strengths. Focus on what you're good at. Okay. We have a question here, Vanji. How do I increase my ID proof in online jobs? There's an if you do a Google search, onlinejobs.ph ID proof, there's an entire article that teaches you how to do that. You can do it by adding driver's licenses or different kinds of IDs. But look at the article. Online Jobs has a very good article about that they wrote themselves. Brian Molina, how can a newbie without experience make his or her profile impressive to clients? That's a pretty complicated question. But when it comes to, well, and I understand your dilemma here. You're dealing with, I'm just checking here, sorry. You're dealing with other people who are applying to the same job, right? You're applying for a VA job, or 50 other people are applying to, or you're applying for a transcription job where 50 other people are applying to. So how can you be impressive? How can you capture clients' attention? And the way you can do that is by applying sales principles. As much as we don't, I hate sales. I used to do sales when I was in the call center. I hated it. I'd call people, they don't want to talk to me, they hang up on me, they curse at me. As much as we don't talk about sales, as a freelancer, as somebody who's on, freelancer or a business person, you have to be able to understand how sales works, how sales psychology works, and use sales principles when you're applying to jobs. This is a pretty complex question. In my courses, I have around 5 hours just answering this single question. So it is pretty complicated, where I teach different sales principles, but my advice is focus on sales principles and capture attention. Don't be like everybody else. Like a lot of the people applying for the same job, they write the same cover letter, they have the same profile. Don't be like them. Find a way to stand out, capture clients' attentions. Okay, I used to be customer service before and technical support. So you can be a virtual assistant with 5 years of customer service experience, right? If you do have 5 years, and that can be attractive to people. Since I'm new and still studying how to be a VA, how do I make a resume for it? Well, and I'm assuming that you're talking about Hubstaff talent, right? Because they're asking for resumes. Well, you can still put in your experience. You can still focus on you're still studying right now. Give me a second to think here. You can still put in your resume that you have experience doing A, B, and C. And Janelle, I know you're a student in our VA bootcamp. So you are getting the experience. If you're taking, I'm assuming you saw the assignments, you saw the action items where we asked you to create charts in Excel and things like that. And you can put that in your resume. You can say, I was able to do this chart and take a picture of it, have it as a portfolio. I was able to do research on these topics, like we have in our module 5 about internet research. I was able to do research on these topics. Include it in your resume, because those are things that you have experience in. Even though it was part of the boot camp, that still counts as experience because you did the job. You were able to do X, Y, and Z. For newbies in work at home, from Frenny, for newbies in work at home setup, how do you make sure that you are getting legit jobs, and how do you make sure you get paid? So there are a number of ways to answer this. The easiest way is, well, I do have a article about finding scams. There are a lot of scams online, just like with anything else. There are a lot of scams, so be careful. I have some articles on the blog, wfhr.io. And let me just type that in here. I have a bunch of articles on the blog here that talk about scams. So to prevent, so that you don't get scammed, you can probably read those articles as well. And some platforms offer payment protection. So if you're a newbie VA, maybe you can sign up for Upwork. They do have some payment protection policies. But like when I deal with clients right now, there's almost no payment protection. It works on a trust system. If you're still new, it's hard for you to identify which clients are scams and which aren't. For those that are more experienced, we work more on a trust system. It's easier for us to identify which ones are scams and which ones aren't. Like I know Marv De Leon here, he doesn't work in Upwork. If you're still listening, Marv, I know that Marv doesn't do Upwork jobs. He deals directly with clients. So it's more of a trust system that works out. And Lorraine, right? This is Angela Lorraine. I'm currently a QA, but I really wanted to work from home. I have a 7-year-old son and wanted, how would my profile be? So I can't really walk you through the entire creation of a profile. I'm not sure if you've taken the free course at freevacourse.com. If you haven't, I highly suggest you do. We have some tips there. Check out, we do have an article on the website on how to create your profile in Upwork. And if you're a newbie, we do have some tips there. If you need to gain more experience, like in our VA bootcamp, we have ways that you can gain experience through our activities, and we teach skills as well. Bihing, I'm working in a BPO right now at the same time. Free web design courses and programming online. It kind of interests me and planning to make it as an online career. Do I still have to start as a VA? What do you suggest? If you are confident in your web design skills, honestly, and programming skills, well, by the way, those are two different fields, web design and programming. So just pick one, focus on it, study it, and become good at it. It may take you months. For programming, it may even take you years. But if you can be confident in your skills, if you have a portfolio to show, then you can start applying for those jobs immediately. Because it also depends on your confidence level and your skills. But what's important, like my advice for you, if you do plan to jump into web design or programming immediately, is have a portfolio to show. Have some websites you created, have some programs on GitHub that you created to show the clients. Abimarikar, new here. I am currently working full-time as email customer support for a bank, answering product and account-related questions. I'm not sure if email handling as a VA is the same as my current job. Does my experience fall under customer service? I'd say it could fall under more customer service and a little bit of email management. Email management deals more with also categorizing emails, not just replying to them. So your experience falls more under customer service, but I'd say that you can still apply for jobs that require experience in email management as well, or email handling. Can you suggest fields for those who are more technically inclined? So the two fields I'd suggest are programming and web development. Programming, well, those can overlap a little bit. If you don't know how to do any programming yet, then you can study something like Python. Python is a very good, easy language to learn. And from Python, you can move on to PHP. You can go into WordPress plugin development. But take note, you won't become a freelancer right away. If you want to become a freelancer right away, then that's when you go into the less technical fields like VA, admin, customer service. But if you do want to really focus on the technical stuff, then you can learn Python programming, PHP, WordPress plugin development, maybe study Ruby, JavaScript, and focus on those areas. Once again, it will take at least 6 months from studying before you apply for your first job, and you can be confident applying for jobs. So it does take a lot of time because you have to study a lot. You have to learn a lot. Myla, Hi, sir. For a newbie VA who's trying to gain experience, do you recommend specialization? And will that increase my chances? If you can specialize as early as now, then yeah, try to specialize as early as you can. If you can focus on, like I said, Excel, Microsoft Excel, or email management, if you can just focus on one area, or WordPress management, or social media management, even as a VA, if you can be a VA with WordPress management experience, because that's your specialization, then I'd suggest you do it as soon as possible, if you can. And that's what we teach a lot of our students to do. Arch, I enjoy building websites, web dev, but I don't have any work experience yet. You actually can, because you have to start somewhere. So Arch, you have two choices. Your first choice is to work as a VA first, and then do some web development work or web design work for your clients, because a lot of the clients who require VAs also need help with a website. So you can be a VA with web design experience, or a VA with WordPress expertise, or something like that. So I'd say, yeah, be a VA, your first choice, be a VA, and then start doing some website work for clients, because they're going to need that help as well. And then you can add that to your portfolio, and then you can transition from being a VA with web design experience to a full web designer or web developer. Your second option is to create your own portfolio, create sample websites that you can show to clients and say, okay, these are some sample websites I've built. And that can be your experience. Janice, sir, besides Upwork and Hubstaff, are there any legit websites that hire newbie VA? Do you also have courses for web researchers? In the VA bootcamp, research is included. It's one of the primary skills that we teach in the VA bootcamp. So, as well as some other basic skills, we focus on the skills that you really need to start off. Whether or not you pursue different fields, these are skills that you should have no matter what. So I would highly suggest you take a look at our VA bootcamp. Besides Upwork and Hubstaff, another website I recommend is onlinejobs.ph. But in all these different web freelancing platforms and all these different websites, there will always be scams. It's unavoidable. Oh, and we also have our own jobs website, jobs.wfhr.io. So we have some jobs there. Almost forgot, but there are going to be scams anywhere. So you can't really avoid it 100%. Frenny, how can a homebounder ensure that he or she's getting fair pay commensurate to the job requested by the client? It really is up to the agreement between you and the client. Before you even apply for the job, you should have an idea of how much you want to charge, how much you want to make from the job, whether it's an hourly rate or a fixed price. And make sure that the agreement is strong with the client. Okay, you're going to be being paid, let's say $8 an hour, $7 an hour, then that's very specific. No matter how many hours you spend, then you're going to get paid $7 an hour. Just make sure that your agreement with the client is sure. If you're not confident in applying for fixed price jobs because they're not, you don't know how long it's going to take, apply for hourly jobs first. Or one thing you can do is you can estimate the number of hours it's going to take you and multiply that by your hourly rate. So if you think a job is going to take 20 hours and you charge $5 an hour, then you can say, I can do this for $100 or something like that. Okay, we did have a lot of questions today. I'm just going to stay on the line for a couple of more minutes. I did plan to end this at 11:30 Philippine time, so we're a bit over time, but we did start a bit late. So we'll still give you guys 3 minutes more to ask questions before we end this session, because I'm also running out of water. I'm getting thirsty. But I hope that you guys learned a lot in this session. My advice, once again, to really figure out what area you want to focus in is, are you a beginner or are you more experienced? And how much do you really want to earn? Do you really want to become a top earning freelancer, or are you just going to be happy, let's say, earning 25,000 pesos a month from home? Depends on your priorities. Also focus on your strengths. Focus on what you love doing and focus on what you're good at. And lastly, choose a specific category that you're going to learn, not one specific skill set, but like online marketing is a category, writing is a category, admin is a category, design is a category. Okay, so let's see if we have any more questions from you guys. You're welcome, Arch. Thank you very much. You've been great help. Hope you can inspire more senior high school ICT students. Oh, I don't know how to reach them, those students. I do most of my stuff online. So if you can hook me up with an online session, that would be good. I see a bright future in this industry to help provide employment. I see it too. I really believe that Filipinos can make a difference and really focus on working online, and freelancing, working online, and working from home. And because of our we speak good English, we can really succeed in this area. From I have no experience yet, please some advice, if any. Same with Peewee. Peewee, please go to this website so that you can get our free course. Jelly, you're welcome. Enzo, my skill is in Excel. I can manipulate data, great, but I'm new in freelancing. Most Excel work requires 90%. How can I apply to those jobs if I don't meet those two requirements? Look, number one, Enzo, look for jobs that don't require those. Number two, you can get a Rising Talent badge, even, and you're a student in our boot camp, if I'm not mistaken. I have a lesson, I have a video on that in module 9. I forgot which lesson, but I have a specific video about getting badges. Somewhere in module 9, it's there, and you can get a RT badge even without experience. So number one, try to apply to jobs that don't have that. Number two, get an RT badge. Try to get an RT badge at least, and you can still apply to jobs that even if you don't meet all the requirements, you just have to have a killer job title, a killer cover letter. Okay, just focus on that more, because when the client is choosing who to hire, you have to beat them in sales more than experience. Have a strong portfolio, have some screenshots, and yeah, your job title and cover letter are going to be very important. You're welcome, Christine. Ray, I'm assuming that's like a thumbs up or something. Thank you, thank you. You're welcome is what I should be saying. You're welcome, guys. Thank you for coming. My accent has improved. Why is that? Should I go practice non-voice now? It's up to you, RJ. If you want to stick to voice accounts, then it's up to you what you're going to have more fun in and where you think you'll have more success in. All right. You're welcome, guys. Bong, yes, we're going to have the replay. Thank you guys for attending. We went a bit over the time, but I really appreciate you tuning in. And next week, we should have another topic set up. All right, guys. See you next week.